Hello, everyone. Just quickly before we get into the episode, I'd like to give a quick shout out to our close friends at Kingship Clothing. As you can see, great quality clothes all year round, and use code
Red Brothers, all one word.
to get a 10% discount. Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Red Brothers Pod. I'm Victor,
And I'm Alex.
and today we're going to be talking about the Aston Villa game. So, wasn't great again, was it?
Yeah, another devastating.
Not as devastating as Everton, just because the circumstances
Yeah,
and who
but
it was, but
It doesn't matter who we're dropping points to at the end of the
matters
day.
that we drop
we're
points,
dropping
exactly.
points. So
I mean, it's sort of becoming a bit of a concern for me at the minute. We seem a bit too easy to score past.
yeah,
And I think what sort of our strongest point was at the start of the season when we were constantly picking up results and wins was how hard it was to score against us. And it doesn't seem like that is the case anymore. And I'm not exactly sure what to put that down to.
didn't we go on a run with was it like a certain amount of games where we were just clean sheets
No.
at the start, of the season, and it was mental. Like
We played some 11 games and conceded 6 goals at the start. Don't quote me on that because it won't be 100% accurate. That was just off the top of my head. But there was some sort of run like that at the start of the season where we weren't conceding goals and we were keeping clean sheets and winning. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem the case anymore. I mean, other than even Ipswich, we didn't keep a clean sheet. When was the last clean sheet in the Premier League? Bournemouth.
I think so.
Yeah, it was Bournemouth.
Yeah, I
as
think
well,
so.
weren't it?
Yeah, well, the problem is at the start of the season we would score one goal, control the game.
Yeah.
Second half, we would score another one and see the game out. However, we go 1-0 up,
And then we concede 9 minutes later.
we concede straight away. And to be fair, the goal isn't really our fault. Like, we just didn't deal with it. It was
unlucky. It
was
bounces
unlucky.
around the box between it, just ping pongs between sort of our defence and their attack,
Yeah,
and it lands fortunately on Tielemans' foot. So those goals happen. You can't really prevent them. Of course, there could have probably been a clearance in there that would have got rid of the danger, but obviously that's just sort of nitpicking.
yeah,
But the second goal, I wasn't necessarily too happy with
yeah.
what we did defensively. But again, sort of going back to our debate last week about the referees and VAR and everything, it's happened again.
Yeah, another poor decision, and
yeah.
it's led to another goal we conceded.
Exactly
which
that.
led to another point drop.
And I'm struggling to sort of find the words to even talk about this right now, because it does get to a point where it becomes really frustrating, because again, a football match is decided in the end by a decision which should have gone the other way, and I think it's clear and obvious. I know other fan bases love to have a dig and say whatever, but if you're just objectively watching football, that is a handball.
Yeah.
And not only does he handball, he also fouls Jota. He
Yeah.
pushes him head on like that, and as the ball wraps around, he hits it with his arm away from Jota, which then sets him up perfectly to play the ball up the pitch to Rodgers, who then plays it down the wing where the goal comes from. So I think it's just poor again to see us sort of concede a goal which should have been prevented by VAR, but at the same time we did also have 2 goals disallowed. So I think obviously the luck was in our favour there and they were the right decisions. But again, I think it's just a shame to sort of see us drop 2 more points again
Yeah,
from
agree.
a second goal, which was a handball.
Well, 2 offences that both within themselves, by themselves, are fouls. The handball and just a foul in general on Jota, and none of the decisions were given. And they were literally in the same place, so that's a bit outrageous to me.
And I saw, I was just scrolling through sort of TikTok earlier, and I saw he was some sort of ex-referee or PGMOL member or whatever. Pardon me. And he was basically saying something along the sorts of, it's clearly and obviously a handball and a foul. And why is VAR not interfering with that? From what I believe, they didn't even look at it, which is puzzling. But their excuse will be it was too early in the attack. But if the whole attack takes place
Based on
because
that, yeah,
of it,
yeah,
then surely you go back to that point. Same
yeah,
way as
exactly.
if a handball, apparently we've seen it hundreds of times before, where if there's any accidental handball in the build up to a goal, it gets disallowed. So here, where he lashes the ball away from Jota, I just don't see how it's not A, intentional, or B, given as a handball, even if it is unintentional. Because
Yeah.
guess what, guys? You can have unintentional handballs that happen. That doesn't change the fact that it's not a handball. Do you know
Well,
that it is a handball? Sorry.
well, listen, yeah. You can't have that argument because within that happening, within 3 passes, there's a goal scored. You can't
Exactly.
say it's too early.
I know,
Because,
but that will be what the excuse will be from VAR
yeah,
or PGMOL or whoever
because
was on VAR that day.
I understand if they passed it back to the centre
Yeah,
backs,
went
yeah,
around.
went
Yeah, played
around,
from the back.
yeah, a long ball over or something, but no. Literally 3 passes and nobody really dribbled a lot. It was just a few
And
touches
as
and
well,
it's a goal.
what I wanna sort of bring up as well is the decision to only give the Sassy a yellow card. For me, again, ridiculous. McAllister is obviously a lot shorter than him. They're fighting for the position in the box. Disassi turns around and he shoves McAllister 2 hands. He misses his chest and pushes him right in the face with so much impact. And again, why is it not a red card? You've struck a player in the face. When is that ever acceptable? And again, yellow card, yeah, sweet play on. VAR didn't even look at it. And yeah, cool. Some people are going to say we're really nitpicking or whatever, but these are big decisions that change big football games. And they have been changing these big football games by making the wrong decision. And,
Yeah.
I just simply do not understand how a handball is not a handball and how a player striking another player in the face is not a red card offence. Because the last time I checked, if you hit someone in the face, it's a red card. And I think that's common knowledge. So, again, I do not understand what's the thought process behind these decisions.
I think these decisions are going to continue, and I think it gets to a point where we can't really expect anything else.
But it's been that point for ages now. How
Yeah,
long have we been saying this? That the referees are not good enough. They've got all the technology in the world to support them. They've got a 12-man team sitting there watching on their little computer screens, and they still can't get the right decision. It baffles me. How can you put so much effort into improving something, and you give someone all the tools they need to do it right, and they
yeah.
still do it wrong?
We literally talked about it on the last episode.
As to why it takes so long. Well,
Yeah,
not only does it take ages, they also can't make the right
yeah.
decisions.
We're basically repeating ourselves here. I mean, we predicted it for this game pretty much because we talk about all these decisions that just don't go our way. And cool, they don't go anyone's way, but when it has such an impact on the score, yeah, when, okay, I understand, yeah, we might have got a throw in or two that shouldn't have been ours,
But
but
that's minor
yeah,
stuff compared to a red card offence
and literally a goal.
a goal,
Yeah,
literally.
literally a goal. So
And I'm, if we don't go down at down at 2-1 into the second half and half time, I don't see us drawing that game. I see it being completely different. Obviously, who was it that got the second goal? Trent.
Trent,
Obviously, Trent scores, and I'd see us still getting a second if we went in at 1-1, and seeing the game out. So it's just really frustrating again. But at the same time, I sort of, I don't think this is the worst result. Like, okay, we've dropped 2 points. Arsenal are another 2 points closer. But at the same time, Villa Park is never easy.
yeah,
And second of all, they had the chances to win that game. Marlon inches past the post in the last couple of minutes. That could have cost us the whole 3 points. So
yeah,
I don't think the draw was necessarily the worst result for us. And I see a lot of our fans sort of lose their head on social media. And I understand it, I think it looks worse than it is because of the Everton game and because of the Plymouth game in short succession. But I think if you look at it over the course of the season, I do think we might look back and go, yeah, that wasn't a bad point to get on the board, because we could have easily lost that day. And, we managed to come back from 2-1 down and, stay competitive throughout the game. So, again, it's not ideal, don't get me wrong, but I do think that it's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be.
I agree, but unfortunately, Aston Villa aren't having as good of
Of course, but
as good of a season as they usually are.
of course,
Well,
but
not
that
usually,
doesn't
but
change the quality of their players. Just because they're lower in the league this season doesn't mean that they still have a good squad with good
yeah,
players that can hurt you. Look at their front four. Rashford, Asensio, who played on the right from the start.
I'm not exactly sure.
Neither am I. But
Watkins
Watkins up front, and then they bring on Marlon off the bench. Obviously, Leon Bailey was injured, but that's another option for them. In midfield, Tielemans is, in the sort of upper echelon of Premier League midfielders. You look at McGinn, he's a powerhouse in midfield, and, they've got some strong, big defenders, obviously bringing Disasi in January on a loan helped them as well, because they've had a few injuries at the back. So I understand your point about their sort of league position, but that doesn't change the fact that they're a side that can hurt you. And, even if City were 17th going into Sunday's game, it's still not going to be an easy game because they're 17th, because they have players that can hurt you like Haaland, De Bruyne, Foden, Savinho. So do you see where I'm coming from on that?
I do, but I just think it's a game we should be winning. I mean,
Every game is a game we should be winning.
I understand, however, but we're playing a side that has maybe not has been on as good of a form this season, yeah. And we're a side that's thriving compared to previous seasons, and I think we should be punishing them. And it's unfortunate that we didn't. There is positives to take from it, but there's negatives as well. I mean, if we're going to drop points here, where else are we going to drop points across the next few fixtures?
Well, yeah, but this was one of the toughest away games we have towards the end of the season. We've only got really City away after this. There's going to be a challenge, and maybe Stamford Bridge. But other than those two games, we're not going to any more of these really difficult away grounds. We've been at the Emirates, we've been at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Obviously, we haven't been to the Bridge, or we haven't been to the Etihad. We've been to Old Trafford. All the difficult away days, other than City and Chelsea, are done. So,
yeah,
I saw something along the lines of we've got 13 games till the end of the season, if I'm not mistaken, or 12 now maybe, after that Villa game.
Well, are we not? Is it not 26th game?
Yeah, so that would be 12,
12
games
games
left. So if I just have a look at our fixtures here.
I can't get my words out today. What's going on?
So we've got City away at the next game. We've then got Newcastle at home, Southampton at home. I think that should be 6 points for ourselves from those two home games. And then, going back to the sort of away days. So we've got City away, we've got Fulham away, we've got Leicester away, Chelsea away, and Brighton away.
Yeah.
So from our last 12 games, we've got 5 to play away from home, and the rest are obviously at Anfield. So I think that plays a massive part in our favour, sort of for the run into the title race, especially considering Arsenal have to come to Anfield. And I know there's sort of meltdown in the Liverpool corner at the minute, but, Arsenal still have difficult games as well. It's not like they've got an easy run of games. If I have a look here again, they're playing Forest, next midweek away. So, again, me personally, I think they might lose that game, not only drop points.
Possibly.
So, so they've got West Ham at home next, so pretty easy for them, I think.
Yeah.
But then they have Forest away and United away back to back, and that's a midweek and a Saturday game or a Sunday game, and then they have Chelsea at home. For 3 games in a week, that isn't an easy week, and I wouldn't be surprised if they sort of come out of there with maybe only 3 or 4 points out of the 9 available, and they've still got Everton to go away to, they've got Ipswich to go away to, and obviously the big one, they've got to come to Anfield. And I think that's sort of teeing up as the title deciding game.
Yeah, I agree. But I think the advantage that we have right now is that their attack is quite weak due to
Exactly.
injuries.
This is what I was gonna say.
So, however, I think our current lack of ability in a number 9 role might also cause a few problems, because yeah, Arsenal might have a few injuries, a few great attackers out. Is Saka still out? Yeah, Saka's still out. Great player, so that's great. However, we've got Jota and Nunes who currently
Cannot finish.
and with Gapco being out for a month, Lucho can't play at number 9 role anymore because we need we need Lucho on that left wing. However, if we get Jones again to play left wing, I think that could work with Lucho on the 9.
But I don't think, because Jones isn't going to be as direct as Lucho on the left,
Yeah.
and Diaz isn't the 9 that we need. And of course, Jota was really poor yesterday. I think he missed a lot of chances, and there was one or two of them that were just clear-cut chances
Yeah.
that he should be scoring. So I think that sort of, I do think that it was poor from him, but, hopefully we can kind of see him go back to his best when it comes to the finishing. But as of Nunes, I think I'm about done.
Yeah, I agree.
I was just talking about the Liverpool fan meltdown online and how it's unwarranted, but when it sort of comes to Nunes,
Definitely warranted. in my
yeah,
opinion.
it's just, again, last season away at Luton, we draw 1-1. Nunes misses an open goal. We win the point. We lose the league, by a matter of points. In these league title races where it's so competitive that a point can be the difference between winning it and losing it, misses like that, I just can't tolerate. And if it happened once or twice, cool, but how many times have we seen this now? How many times is that guy gonna have an open goal and still miss?
Yeah, I
just
agree.
I just can't do it, especially at these tough away grounds where it's hard to get a goal. Villa away isn't easy to score at, and you get a pass put on a plate by Szoboszlai, and you just put it over the bar. It's ridiculous.
It's actually a laughing stock. Rival fans, not even rival fans, fans in general, people that just watch the Premier League, yeah, they understand how poor his finishing can be. I don't know what's wrong with him. We talked about this last episode. It's so weird because he's got the qualities of a good player, but you just can't provide the delivery. He's just not there. It's so sad to see. I think we should have took the 70 million in January and ran with it. That was an absolute heist. Like, I'm not sure how we got away with that.
Do not get me started on FSG, because again, John Henry, who is making these decisions? I'm tired of it. Why is Nunes still here when you get offered 70 million from Saudi? It does not make sense. Why are we doing this to ourselves? Why are you keeping a striker who's not prolific? He's shown us for 2.5 seasons that he is not prolific, and you've gone, 70 mil from... Nah, mate, no worries. Yeah, you keep that over there. Why are we doing this?
The fact, yeah, that we could have nearly broken even on that Nunes transfer.
After he's been nothing
So
but
poor.
shit for 2.5 years.
So poor. It's so stupid, yeah. We've splashed so much money on a striker that was supposed to have a massive impact. That amount of money that we spent on him was 8 million, yeah? That we spent on him.
euros, so
Yeah.
like 67, 70-ish million pounds.
Yeah, so-
which still isn't
So
low.
we spent that much money, which could have been spent elsewhere, so much more efficiently.
On 3
However,
different players as well. That's
However,
the worst thing.
we spent on a player that we thought was going to be world class for us, and he's proved to not be. And now we've literally got a refund, and we've just been like, now we can get more. Why are we even looking for more? That's more than enough for us, I believe.
Exactly, and bring Gyökeres in. He ain't gonna cost more than what Saudi were offering for Nunes.
Yeah.
Okay. The only sort of bargaining chip John Henry and FSG have is that it's January, and it's hard to do deals in January, especially when you've just sold a striker, and clubs are aware that you're looking for a striker. So instantly, when you ask for a striker, it's 20 million added to the price tag. But again, pardon me, I think I'd rather see him go and not replaced, and have that 70 million in the bank to sort of, play around with in the summer, because he's costing us points again at this point, and you know, he keeps playing, he keeps getting minutes, and it's just no improvement whatsoever. Since he's come in, I'd argue he got worse, because when he came in, scores that great header at City in the Carabao Cup, not Carabao Cup, Community Shield. That's the one. Too many C's. So he scores that header in the Community Shield. Boom, Premier League debut, back heel versus Fulham.
Amazing finish.
And then he gets sent
Red
off.
card.
Yeah, and it's like ever since that day, Nunes has just, I don't know what's happened to him, but that sort of set the tone for his sort of Liverpool career. He'll have a good patch, 1 or 2 games, and then absolute diabolical for about 5 or 6. Maybe he'll pop in one good performance, maybe get an assist off a counter-attack after he's got subbed on, and we're all raving and loving Nunes again. We're all singing his name again, just for him to start next week, miss about 3 sitters, hit the post 4 times, be offside 6 times, and score a total of 0 goals. So it's just really frustrating, and another bone I have to pick with FSG after seeing Bradley come off injured. Where's the cover at the back? What's going on? Why is Quansah now our right back cover, right centre back cover, and left centre back cover? Why is he covering for 3 positions on his own? Joe Gomez is well known to be injury prone. Guess who else is also really injury prone? Ibrahima Konate. What does that end up in? Konate will get injured very soon, and then we're left with Van Dijk and Quansah alone. There's no cover for them. We're playing in 3 different competitions. And this is just normal for a big club to be acting like this. It really boils my blood, because there's only so much that manager can do. And if you gave Klopp backing over the course of the time he spent at Liverpool, I promise you that he comes back with tenfold of the trophies he's won. Because guess what? City didn't win the league. They spent around 200 million on different players to go and win it the next year. We don't win the league, and we'll sign 2 youth players that might be a gem in about 5 years' time, but they're not going to help our title credentials now. And in the position where we were 6 points above Arsenal with a game in hand, looking to be 9 points before that Everton game, going into the January window, and the fact that these idiots didn't think to cover the squad, give it more depth, because we're gonna fucking need it. Because not only is the Premier League tough and every 3 days, we've got the Champions League to worry about now. So you're telling me if Konate gets injured, which is very likely, as he commonly gets injured, especially the more minutes he has to play, which guess what? He has to play all of them now because there's no cover for him. So you're telling me that potentially we could be seeing Real Madrid in a semi-final and Quansah's going to be our centre-back. Don't get me wrong, nothing against Quansah. I think he's great, has a great future. I love the fact that we have a young lad at the back, but he's not at that level yet.
Well, worst will be is if Trent gets injured and Konate gets injured, because now we've got Endo playing at centre back, and we've got Quansah at right back.
There we go.
So
I forgot about that. We're now using our Schlott has to use a 5'6" centre defensive midfielder as centre back cover, because FSG cannot bring anyone into this football club, and it's jarring the hell out of me. I can't do it anymore. All of the transfers that we've been potentially involved in over the course of the last few years, Caicedo couldn't get it over the line, Zubamendi couldn't get it over the line, Bellingham couldn't get it over the line. How many more players are we going to see of really high quality that FSG cannot see over the line? And it's ridiculous, because I promise you, okay, apart from Jude Bellingham, but I promise you, for Caicedo, Liverpool would be a more attractive proposition than Chelsea. But guess what? Chelsea were willing to pay him more. Why? Because our owners cannot invest into the football club. But it's cool, because they'll go blow 600 million on the Boston Red Sox. Fuck off. No one cares. If you're going to own a football club in the UK, do some education, get cultured about how important it is to the people that support these football clubs, and do your fucking due diligence to make sure that these fans are happy and, you know, they have affordable tickets to go to the games, they get to see their team bring in new players. Of course, don't get me wrong, the lower league sides, all of their fans are going to be commenting, going, oh, imagine complaining when you're a Liverpool fan, imagine watching Stockport. Okay, okay, cool, understood, you're right. But when you're at this level, something has to happen, and it's not happening. We bring in Mamashvili in the summer. He's not going to play till next year. We bring in Chiesa, who's missed about 2/3 of the season through injury and is only now really starting to pick up fitness. But after that Plymouth game, he's not been getting any more minutes. So again, with his fitness, what's that going to entail? Because him not getting minutes means he's not match sharp, means there's going to be more injuries, means we have even less cover. So we bring in those two players. Brilliant, cool. You're future proofing for Alisson with Mamashvili, but just give Kelleher a contract. Problem solved. We have 40 million to spend on another position. Bring in a centre back, bring in a left back, a right back, ideally someone that can play in the middle and either left or right. So we have cover in multiple positions, like with Joe Gomez. Boom, sorted. But no, what do FSG do? Absolutely niche. And it's really starting to get to me now, because I've had to watch my club fall short by the finest of margins over and over again. And the only thing that would have helped us surpass those margins was a bit of support from the owners to get the football team to the level that it should be at. But for years, they've been not investing enough money into it. The ticket prices are ridiculous. And yeah, okay, cool guys, we'll lift the ticket prices up, but at least it means we can bring in a striker or a centre back in the summer. Comes around to the summer, yeah, sweet mate, no one. So this is exactly my point, and it just gets really annoying now, because our whole season could fall apart from these injuries, all because our owners once again showed that they are in no fit state to run a football club. And the best example of this is 2021, the year after we win the league. I just tried to mix Van Dijk and Konate in one word. Van Dijk gets an ACL injury. He's out for the season. Yeah, Gomez gets injured. No surprises. Matip gets injured. No surprises. Because again, FSG had 2 injury-prone centre-backs and went into the season with 3 senior centre-backs. Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez, of which all 3 of them got injured. So we get to January at the top of the table, somehow. Yeah, we've managed to climb to the top. Around January, we lost to Southampton 1-0 away. Danny Ings scored a lob over Alisson, and then our bad form sort of continued and spiralled after that. But for the people that remember, before that Southampton game, we was top of the league. And what did our ambitious, great owners decide to do when all 3 of our senior centre-backs were injured? They brought in Ben Davies from Preston North End, who played a total of 0 minutes, and they brought in Ozan Kabak, who was deemed after about 2 games not good enough to even step foot in Liverpool again. And we ended the season with a partnership of Matt Phillips and Reece Williams. Why? Because our owners do lack the ability to be proactive and get shit done. And if it costs us again, and we see us lose the league by a point again, because all of our centre-backs are injured again, and we have no cover in defence, and now Gakpo's injured, so Diaz will probably be injured soon, and that's just how it goes. And because our owners are unable to be proactive, it's going to cost us again, and if it's not this season, it's going to cost us again over the course of the next few years, and I'm sick and tired of it.
The problem is it's a cycle, because we don't have enough squad depth, yeah? So a player, right, has to play 50 games a season, especially because we get to the finals. Exactly. And
Zubimendi was there for the summer. Apparently now next season he's going to Arsenal. So he stayed because he loved the beautiful Basque mountains. No, mate. We weren't offering you enough money. Let's call a spade a spade. We didn't offer you enough money. You didn't find it nice enough and said, "Now I'll just stay here and wait for a better offer from another European giant." So now our Arsenal capitalise, and they're going to be bringing in Zubimendi from the start of next season. And we're flat out on our arse with Gravenberch, who has played about 9 billion minutes. Last week alone, I'm not even on about the season. Last week alone, the McGee's has done about 590s. And yeah, sweet. No worries. We couldn't bring Zubimendi in. We're just going to wait indefinitely. It's going to be the year 2077, and John Henry is going to be half robot. He's going to be walking around America like the dosser he is, in his nice fucking £6 million suit that could have gone towards one of our centre backs, and he's going to go, oh, I wonder if that Zubimendi is still on the market. Should we give? Oh, he's been dead about 20 years. Oh, shame. Because that's what FSG do, and it just boils my brain. I just can't do it anymore. How many times are we going to miss out on a transfer target that's vital to pushing this team forward, to achieving the things that we all know we're capable of achieving, but we can't fucking do it because our owners can't see past their fucking shitty red socks bullshit, whatever it is. I'm tired of it.
Yeah, I completely understand what you're doing. It's completely just no point because we're such a European giant. We're the biggest club in England, one of the biggest clubs in Europe. Yeah,
19
we're not getting
league
the
titles and 6 Champions League, and you're telling me this is how our owners act. It's
Exactly,
like
it's poor.
it's like being a bodybuilder, yeah, and owning a chihuahua. Like, that's the real definition of them being the owners of Liverpool Football Club, yeah? Liverpool, in this instance, is the bodybuilder, and John F. Henry is a fucking chihuahua. And fuck knows what he's doing. I don't know how them two got together, but we both know that that isn't a relationship that works, so we should probably move that apart. So, I saw not long ago Elon Musk was linked with buying the club. I don't care, mate. Rename Liverpool to XFC. I don't care. Get John F. Henry out of my club immediately, because I'm tired of sitting there updating Fabrizio Romano's timeline every 5 seconds, every January and every August, or whenever the summer transfer window is, just to see that Chelsea have signed 6 billion players, but our owners can't bring in fucking one. I'm tired of it.
I'll see some random 15-year-old from our academy get loaned out to like flipping.
Yeah, and that's the most
7th
exciting
division.
news of the transfer window for us Liverpool fans.
Yeah, and that's the biggest club we've been linked with. Is some 6-tier non-league side. Yeah,
But it's okay, because in 20 years we're still going to be shouting Real, whatever, Sociedad about Zubimendi.
Yeah,
boils my brain.
and he's going to be 50 years old and retired, and we're still going to be underpaying him by like 50 mil. So, sick one. So, let's go back to the game a little bit because we got a bit off topic on the rant again. So
I'm just so sick and tired of FSG. This has been something that I've had the opinion of for at least 5 to 6 years now. I mentioned it on a previous pod. It was ever since we won the Champions League and I saw us sign Harvey Elliott and Sepp van den Berg. Like, come on, be for real now. Like, I remember Chelsea back in the day. They won the league. They signed Essien, Shevchenko. Cool, he didn't work out, but massive player, massive name. Pardon me again. Essien, Shevchenko, Ballack. These are the players they were signing when they were winning the league to strengthen for the next league. Because guess what happens? A team doesn't win the league or challenges or comes close. They're going to elevate up. They're going to make some transfers to make that push to winning the title. Arsenal did it with Declan Rice. It hasn't quite worked out with them, but you see the sort of thing I'm on about. So
and you can see it this
we
season.
were going for the title with Arsenal and City last season. City brought in, I'm not sure who they brought in exactly last season. I'm trying to think of that squad and no one pops to mind immediately. But going to Arsenal, I think that's the sort of best example, because City's squad was already built and filled out. But, Arsenal bring in Timber, they bring in Rice, they bring in Havertz. Okay, he's not great in my opinion, but he scored important goals for them. And, that's a team that's aspiring to go win a title. Whereas, what did we do that year? I genuinely can't remember.
Which season?
Not this one, last one in the summer. Oh, okay.
Nunes?
To be fair, it was McAllister, Szoboszlai.
Oh,
and
that one.
and
Okay. I was
Gravenberch.
thinking the season before.
Right. So, credit where it's due. That was a good window by FSG, but why
it's an
did
odd one out.
no? But But even then, we're giving them credit. But when you really look at it deep and break it down, why did we have to bring in 4 midfielders? Because Henderson was playing past his prime. Fabinho's legs had gone about a year and a half ago, which is why we tried signing Caicedo. Who else did we have in midfield? Milner. He just couldn't play anymore. Wijnaldum
Jones.
got left go on a free, and then
Yeah.
obviously we kept Jones and Elliott because they're young and they're good for the future.
Yeah.
So, okay, we had a good window, but we only forced ourselves into having a good window because we've had so many poor ones
We
before.
absolutely had to have it.
We had to have it because if we didn't have that rebuild in midfield, we would have been having a City season this season again.
Yeah.
Like we did in 22-23.
Yeah, and you can see it this season. City are doing poor season. January comes around. Marmoush, Kusanov. Who's that other midfielder?
Vega, Nico Gonzalez.
There
About
you
5
go.
players worth around 200 million.
Exactly, and just
okay,
out of nowhere. And
City have a lot of money. Cool, I hear it. We can't compete with them. So I get what your point is. It's not necessarily the most fair comparison, but that's owners that are proactive. That when there's an issue in the squad, they go out and fix. But what do our owners do? They sit at it. They think about who's going to be the perfect player to bring in. They build this whole massive master plan out. In 2027, McAllister's going to go out and we're going to replace him with this 16-year-old we've just seen in Sweden because he's fucking nuts. And then, guess what? It gets 2 years later and that Swedish Don is at Real Madrid or Barca because they saw his quality and we weren't proactive, so we missed out again.
Yeah.
And this is my point. Like, yeah, it's just really frustrating and I know I keep repeating it, but I am fucking sick of it.
Well, look, Marmoush, that's an absolutely top talent.
With Liverpool.
He would look sick in a Liverpool shirt. I'd love to have him. I'd love to have him playing for
way
us.
better striker than Nunes.
Exactly. And listen, Nunes, get him gone 70 million.
Marmoush didn't cost that as
Exactly. So there we go. We've already made profit and we've improved tenfold from literally nothing, yeah. And now we've got number 9. Our squad depth is Marmoush and Jota, 2 amazing finishers.
I just want to cry, man.
And we can achieve so much with them 2 players. Marmoush is still gonna keep increasing his level.
Yeah, he's like 22 or whatever.
So
he's young.
He's incredible. But however, going back to the game, yeah. I think there is still some positives to take from it. The first goal, I think we got gifted it. It came from absolutely nothing. The defender made a poor pass. Second goal, an amazing, well, kind of a lucky again, still.
You create your own luck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we got into that position where we got that that shot off. So that's why I'm saying it's amazing that we got in that kind of position. It was luck. Okay, we got 2 goals from luck. Okay. Unfortunate for Villa,
but their first goal was lucky and their second goal should
yeah
have
but
stood.
However we create our own luck, but I think there is positives to take from it. And I think if we talk about the player ratings, I think Ali couldn't have done anything for the 2 goals that were scored. I think again Ali we can give, however I think it's a 6 because obviously he didn't really do incredible. He still conceded 2. He wasn't at fault.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault, but also there wasn't like a big alley save in that game from what I'm aware of. I mean, we had some technical issues with the game. It kept sort of freezing and lagging and stuff. So, like the Nunes miss, we
missed it.
Thank God for that, because if I had to watch that live, I would have actually just gone head first through my TV. But yeah, we'll give Alisson a 6. Trent, 8.
Yeah, I think Trent did well.
Really good. Happy to see him have a good performance again after the sort of Wolves and
I think he
United
made a comeback.
games.
Yeah, I think he made a comeback.
And I know we were a bit harsh on Trent the last episode, but let me just reiterate, he's one of my favourite players. I've loved Trent ever since he first played in a Liverpool shirt, and he's been my favourite player ever since he probably scored that goal at Hoffenheim away. So I love Trent, and it's probably the pain from what could potentially happen with Madrid and just the frustration with knowing how good he can be. But it was good to see him sort of back to his best last night, and he played really well. So we'll give him an 8, and that sort of takes us over to Ibu. Probably a 7, nothing special.
Yeah,
but nothing
again,
bad.
I mean, we say this often about Konate, But however, I think it's good that he's consistency.
Yeah, of course. And I
He's-
think towards the start of the season, he was definitely more dominant. I think after his injury in that United game, I think he dropped his level just
Yeah.
ever so slightly. But I think we're starting to sort of see him climb back up into 100% full
Yeah.
fitness and sharpness. So that's definitely
I
something to
think-
sort of be excited for.
I think it's good to have a defender who, week in, week out,
But
you
two
can
of 'em.
expect. Yeah. I'm just saying about Ibu. Week in, week out, you can expect that good performance.
Yeah.
He won't randomly just have an absolutely shocking game. Yeah, leaving you surprised on what he's even doing in the city. And I think it's good to have that because, it just so much stability. And I'd much prefer him having 7 out of 10s for the rest of the season than having 2 10 out of 10s and then 1 6 out of 10.
Yeah, for sure.
For example,
And,
so
that sort of takes us on to Van Dijk again, 7.
yeah,
I don't think the goals. I mean, he does kind of miss the header when Watkins gets that
Yeah.
goal, and he could have done better. But obviously, it was a really good cross that went right onto Watkins' head. So not too much sort of stick to give to him today. But yeah, I thought he was good again.
yeah,
Again, same as Ibu, his levels don't really drop below a certain level, and I
Yeah.
think that we saw that again yesterday.
I think the
But-
difference is that Virgil sometimes have that performance that is just 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, but then he doesn't have the 6 out of 10 or the 5 out of 10 either. He'll either have a 7 or an 8 or a 9 or 10. So that's sort of his levels, and he stays within that bracket.
Yeah.
And when he has a performance that's a 7 out of 10, we probably say he had a poor game, which sort of says just a lot about sort of the level of the
And
player.
I think same goes with Trent. When Trent has a average performance, we say that he's done
Yeah.
poor.
But I mean, when Trent is poor, he is really poor.
Yeah, but then obviously
the
we
difference.
will mention that as well. We will definitely be really tough on that.
But I
But-
think yesterday one of my sort of players that I really liked the performance of was Robbo. I think he got down that left hand side well, reassured us well at the back.
I
and
agree.
yeah, it was sort of just back to seeing Robbo play at maybe not his very best, but definitely a really high level. So good to sort of see Robbo, kind of get over that bad patch of form he had after sort of that Fulham game and before it, where he got turned inside out by Saka, as well at Emirates.
Yeah.
But so yeah, glad to sort of see Robbo start, elevating his performances a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I think about an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Nothing too outstanding. I agree. I think I liked seeing this play. He did help us a lot. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Moving on to Gravenberch.
And I think it was a 6. I think he looked really leggy, and I just think he needs a rest. I think
Yeah.
that would have been the perfect game to sort of start Endo to break down some of them counter attacks from them, especially since they lined up with Asensio in that number 10 position. He was able to sort of get in between the lines, and Rodgers would double up in the middle as well, sort of creating an overload. So I think just dropping Endo in there would have sort of put that fire out. But I do sort of think that Schlott kind of made the wrong decision there, and obviously having a fresh Gravenberch away at City would have been ideal, but not too much of a problem.
I think it's hard not to start Gravenberch in such an important game.
City,
yeah, and also Villa. Though I think it's
I
hard to
know,
start him
but
due to his quality.
he needs a rest.
Yeah,
Because
I think
that quality isn't there when he's running to the ground and he looks leggy.
Yeah, I think I'd prefer seeing him get arrested for Wolves.
Again, yeah, but that didn't happen either.
Yeah,
so if
yeah.
it wasn't Wolves, it had to be Villa.
Yeah.
And now it looks like it has to be City, but he's going to start again. So,
Yeah, he's gonna start. So and then I'm guessing Newcastle then. But
yeah.
I'd be more confident in him not starting for Newcastle
Yeah.
than Villa or City. So
Yeah,
moving
moving
on
on to
to-
McAllister, he got bruised and battered, bless him. But that's what
Yeah.
I love McAllister for. He battles, he fights hard, and I thought he was really good again yesterday. Maybe not as good as usual, so I'll probably go with a 7. I
Yeah,
think that's around fair.
I think
for
fair
him.
enough. Yeah.
And Szoboszlai, one of my contenders for the anti-heroes of the game, he just really frustrates me.
Poor.
I know he puts it on a plate for Núñez, but other than that, his sort of in and around the box play just isn't great, and it's really frustrating. And there's so many times you just go get a shot off, just shoot, lad, and he doesn't do it, and it just really frustrates me.
Yeah.
Or he'll get his touch completely wrong, or his pass will bounce away, go wayward. So yeah, I wasn't impressed with Szoboszlai. I'd probably give him a 5.
Yeah, well, he'll help in the whole build-up and that'd be great. But when it comes to that final product, the
He
final
can't do
pass,
it.
the final shot, he just doesn't do it. And I don't know what it is. I think it's a mental thing 'cause the quality's definitely there.
And
I think moving on to
Salah, man
Salah,
of the match,
yeah,
9 out of 10.
I agree, amazing
Same
again.
thing every week, goal and an assist.
Yeah.
What's that now? 24 goals and 15 assists, or
Yeah, something like that.
25 and 16. I'm not sure which one exactly, but either way, it's mental. And Salah for Ballon d'Or.
Yeah,
But with Mbappe's sort of game against Real Madrid,
now
I can I can definitely see Mbappe's PR and sort of reputation getting him to that Ballon d'Or ahead of Salah,
yeah,
especially
I
if
agree.
they were to win the Champions League. But we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if the Champions League finals between Liverpool and Madrid, that
Will
will be the
Ballon d'Or
decider.
It
Yeah.
depends, because is there tournaments in the summer? This summer? No,
No.
because the Euros was last summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there won't be tournaments. So yeah, that would probably be the decider.
So moving on to Jones, what do you think about his performance then?
I think there was bits and pieces in there that were really nice. I think the roulette he does when he puts Szoboszlai through for that 1-on-1 he missed was really nice. It was exceptional. That's some stuff that you see Ronaldinho do. So it was definitely nice to see. And yeah, I don't think it was a bad game, but it wasn't a good game. It was just
Average.
6, yeah, average
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
And that just sort of leaves us with Jota. So 5. I can't even be asked
Poor.
to talk about it, if I'm honest. He missed about 6 chances. He does get unlucky when he hits the bar. I think that was really unlucky, and the whole turn and the finish was quality.
Yeah.
He just lacked that bit of luck, but yeah, 5 out of 10, not good enough. Needs
Yeah.
to improve.
I think, well, that's the thing. If he scored that goal, yeah, we'd be talking about it completely differently.
Yeah, for sure. But that's how strikers work. Same with Nunes. If he comes on and scores that open goal for the winner, we'd be sitting in here going, fucking Nunes is the best player in the world.
Yeah,
But
party.
exactly that. But it didn't happen. So yeah, if my nan had wheels,
Yeah,
she'd be a bike.
it's the fine margins in football, really. So
Exactly
that's
that.
what set his performance to a 5. So I think that just about wraps up the episode for today.
Yeah,
so,
I think it just about does. So
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the rants about FSG and the referees and the part we did on the game. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in yet again, and we'll look forward to having you on the post-match reaction after the Man City game.
thank you.
Thank you.